So I thought I'd talk a little bit about the opening of chakras, or the heart chakra, and chakras in general. So, first of all, I'm not aware of chakras. Today I was with a woman who talked of it in the Irish shamanic tradition of the three cauldrons. And I'm aware that there are other teachings that talk of different energetic centers, for want of a better word. So we've all heard and read articles of people, and I've talked as well before about, I don't watch many YouTube videos on spirituality and blah blah blah, because I get disillusioned, and I kind of think, well, I haven't had that experience. So I've we've heard people who say, I was meditating and I was doing Kundalini yoga, and I could feel my heart chakra spinning and all this kind of stuff, and I could see the color. I don't know the colors, I don't know the names of these chakras. I don't know the colors related to them. It may be beneficial, but it's just something I've never been drawn to, and I don't feel a connection with them. I feel energy in certain parts of my body, and I've meditated for about 23 years, and I would, even from very, very early on, I would feel surges of energy in different parts of my body at times. But I was never aware of I was aware for that 23 years or more I knew what chakras were. Another word for them is seals, which I don't know what it is. I prefer the term seals. Chakras doesn't sit with me. I'm not sure why. I prefer the term seals, but it's kind of the same thing, I think. I would feel energy, and I would be aware of energy in my root chakra. I would be aware of energy in my second chakra. Now here I am, and I'm using the word chakras, and so, but you know what I mean, from those areas. And I know that the supposed second chakra is the sexual energy, so I would be aware of that. And I don't mean that necessarily in desire and sexual desire or lust. It would be Kundalini energy. It would be an awakening of energy that I would be aware of in different meditations, or in medicine ceremonies. Also in working, in doing energy work with people, I would experience surges of energy through the core of my body, through the stomach, chest. I may purge, I may vomit, I may be covered in sick. I may be covered in sick. I may be covered in sweat. So no, I'm not covered in sick. Trust me. So I'd be covered in sweat. So that happens, and that would be me taking on or being aware of the work that's happening in that person's energetic system. So they might not feel it. Often what happens is that I'll feel all of this, and when I feel all of this, the person I'm working with usually feels nothing, and they might say, "Oh, I didn't. Does this work? Nothing happened." But hopefully, or usually in the days after or weeks after, there would be a change, not always conscious, but they would change, or there would have been a release. And sometimes vice versa, I would feel nothing, and they would go on a journey, or they would purge, or they would whatever, they would feel the energy. What I have noticed, I have had, I remember in some holotropic breathwork sessions that I was very aware of the third eye. I was aware of energy and light and things changing in that area. I would also have been quite aware over the last year and a half of work on my heart. I would physically at times have felt almost like bubbles popping in the heart, or sometimes like little aches or pains, and releases, expansion of the heart, expansion of the chest. So that would be my only real awareness. I never see spinning chakras. I never see chakras in my meditations. I don't think there was one or two experiences that I saw light or changes in the third eye, which I think is the pineal gland. I don't know. I don't remember the terminology of these things. It just doesn't interest me. It doesn't grab me. What's important to me is the experiential of what's happening, rather than the academic explanation. And I have a terrible memory, so I never remember the details of any of these things anyway. Even if I did read them and learn them, I'd forget them a week or two later, so it's kind of irrelevant for me. I was told by a couple of people, that your heart, there's walls around your heart. So I took that on, And as I've said before in an earlier video, that it was good for me for a shaman to not give his interpretations of my journeys, because it forced me to trust my own experience. So there was people who told me at times that I had walls around my heart. The heart chakra was closed, and I took that on and I carried that, and I would repeat that to people. Oh, my heart's closed, my heart's closed. And then someone stopped me and said, you should be saying that, don't be repeating that. It could be projection. It could be these people who said it, that their heart is closed. So that was a learning experience. But also, why would the heart be closed? So I went through a period of thinking, oh Jesus, I have to open my heart. How am I going to find people to work on my heart? Can you open my heart? And I've come across other people, we say these things, but I'm coming around to realize it's not a problem. It's not wrong. It's not bad. It's not a flaw that the heart may be blocked to some degree. Quite the opposite. There's a reason that the heart was blocked. There was a reason I put up walls. It was quite simply to protect myself, that we are beings of light. We are spirits, that are here for a purpose, and we've a lot of energy. We have a lot of abilities. I can't find the words or terminology to use, to heal people, to heal ourselves, to impact, to generate, to expand light and affect and influence and lift and raise consciousness or people around us. So that being in the wrong part of the world will be abused and will be used for darker purposes, will be manipulated, will be literally burned at the stake, put in prison. Witches, magicians, healers, these people have been killed and crucified for generations. So we learned to protect ourselves, to not be as open. We learned tricks to entertain the king, to entertain the rulers, to make people laugh, to survive, much as we did in our family of origin, of how we would play a role. We would be the person that could survive in that family. And now we grow up, we don't need those tricks anymore, although they may be useful. They're part of our personality now, but we don't need the walls up. We're in an age where we are expanding and it's safe. We're in the Western world, hopefully, where it's safe to discuss these things with power and assertiveness, and to own who I am and to speak my truth, all of us. So the walls can come down, but the walls were purposeful, and they still are at times. We learned that to survive. We learned to be closed, because we would have been destroyed so many times by being vulnerable and open and loving and gentle, because there are people out there who'll walk all over that and destroy that. So now we're safer and we're wiser and we're being guided, and we're plugging ourselves in. We're being plugged in with the awareness that we can bit by bit learn to gradually, and with the help of others and with the help of our guides and higher energies and the higher self and whatever's out there, to one brick at a time, to dismantle the wall or walls and speak a little bit more lovingly, a little bit more gentle, and expose our heart a little bit more and test the water and see, is it safe? And if it is, maybe the next time I'll say a little bit more and I'll be a little bit more open. And that's how we make peace, and that's how we get freer, more loving and healthier, and so on and so forth. So there was, and there is, a purpose to having a closed chakra, but closed is too much. It's just defenses. It's okay. So it's about making peace with it. There's nothing wrong. Everything is perfect. I have a video called Everything is Perfect. If you haven't heard it, watch it. Or listen to it. So everything is perfect. It's on its own trajectory. There's nothing wrong. It doesn't need to be forced or pushed. The reason your heart or any other chakra that you feel or you've been told is closed, like we all have blockages in every area. If these chakras exist, and maybe they do for some or others, maybe we're from different places. So speaking, there's the voice box and there's the voice chakra or the throat chakra. So if this is closed, there can be shame and there can be other reasons behind that. Bit by bit, that will loosen up. We all have stuff in all this area. It's not that we're unusual or it's nothing to be ashamed of, or think my heart is closed, or I can't actually think of the names of any of the other chakras. So the throat chakra is the only one that comes to me. So any of these that we think are blocked, everyone has stuff. We're all blocked in different areas around different people. Some people were fine and we could talk and we could chat, and other people were shut down and were closed. Or sex, some people were fine and were comfortable in some areas, and others were closed. So it's okay. It's taking, once we're on the path, in time this will be worked upon. Well, we're doing our work. We're going to breath work. Maybe we're going to medicine ceremonies. Maybe we're doing energy healing. Maybe we're meditating. We're going to yoga. We're doing what feels right, where we're moved in that direction, and to contemplate whatever is going on. So trust the process. There's no reason to speed it up. The only thing to question is if you feel you're avoiding that area, if you feel you're avoiding that work. I knew I had to go back to holotropic breath work. Didn't like it. Knew I had to go back to medicine ceremonies. Found it terrifying. But I knew there was work that I had to do, or else I would just stay the same. So you might feel that you need to meditate or go to yoga or whatever it is. If you're avoiding that, well then, that's a sign of, you're going to stay the same. So if you feel moved to do something or work in an area, well then do it. But I'll finish on this. Try to do whatever it is with love. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter if you know all your chakras and the names, and if you see them spinning, that's brilliant. If you don't, it doesn't matter. I don't really feel much of a connection to them. I'm aware of energy in these areas, as I said, or 2 or 3 areas. Nothing more, not 7. So it's okay. There's no need to compare or think I'm further behind than other people, or I'm not having this expansion. Doesn't matter. Trust yourself, honor your path and what your experience is, as limited as that may be, as tiny as that may be. If you just meditate once a day or once a week, honor that and say, well, I do that. There's many people out there that are aware of none of this, do none of it, and are not ready for any of it. So I've said enough. I hope that was of use. Thanks for listening.